From gardening to animals to extreme renovations, welcome to Homesteading at College Hill Farm. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Today we're talking about setting up a lighting system for seedlings in your basement. Well, today I'm going to set up a lighting system in my basement. It's not a complicated thing. Anybody can do it. You don't need to hang wires and chains. You saw us build our table. We've got a table. That's all we need. So now it's time to set up a lighting system. Well, for the past 20 years, I've used fluorescent shop lights. You know, the 4 foot long, got 2 fluorescent bulbs. Each bulb's 40 watts. And I've done that for the last 20 years. And here's a picture of that so you'll understand what I'm talking about. I went out, when I renovated our basement, when I built my shop, I used those fluorescent fixtures in those areas. Well, I thought I was going to be able to go to Wally World at any time and buy a 4 foot fluorescent fixture for $10.99. Well, they don't sell them anymore. All of their fixtures are LED. Well, that was kind of where I was getting ready to go anyway, because I'm going to build a greenhouse, but I only have a single 15 amp circuit going out to the greenhouse. So I was going to have to convert to LEDs anyway, because 80 watt fixture versus a 32 watt fixture. Less than half the energy required to operate these. I can operate 3 of these. 3 of these basically for what I operate one fluorescent fixture. Not one of those actual fixtures is right up here above my head. So that will save me on the energy required in the greenhouse later. So I just went ahead, bit the bullet, spent $16.97 a piece for these, and here's what they look like. Now, do I know that LED lights will work? I have no idea. Okay? But they are white. They put out a white light. Now, in our setup, we won't need the chains. And I'll show you that when we get to it. We won't need the chains for our setup. Here's the instructions. Well, I'm a typical guy. Put those over out of the way. Now, these LED fixtures, they're 3,200 lumens, I think. How that compares to a fluorescent light, typical 4 foot long fluorescent bulb that I used to grow was about 3,800 lumens for the 2 bulb fixture. This is 3,200 lumens, but the truth is, when it comes to fluorescent lights, the older they get, the more the lumens go down. So the fluorescent lights that I have are 20 years old. So those lumens are down. Now, but one thing that really concerns me is whether or not these will be too hot on my plants. So I'm going to plug this baby in right here and see if I get heat from these. Ooh, they're bright. Matter of fact, they're brighter than the fluorescents up there. Just to tell you the truth, a lot brighter. So, but I need to know if they're going to heat up, because when you do the fluorescent lights, you put them right down on top of your plants. Okay? And if the plants touch the fluorescent lights, it's okay. It doesn't hurt anything. So, I'm going to give these a few minutes to run, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. Probably going to be as hot as it's going to get. We're going to see how it does. I'm going to use the back of my hand because sometimes I can't feel my fingertips real well where I have MS. So I'm going to use the back of my hand and I can lay my hand right on these LEDs. So it's no hotter than the fluorescents get. So that's a bonus. So now I know that this is what I want to use. Now, what are you going to need? Let me unplug that. Whew, now I can see. What are you going to need to set up your lighting system? Well, you're going to need an extension cord, and you're going to need a power strip. I like to use a power strip. You'll need a fan, and I'll explain about the fan in a little bit. You need a little oscillating fan. Doesn't have to be a big one, but you need a little oscillating fan, and you need one of these timers, because you want the lights to be on at least 16 hours a day. I like to give them 8 hours worth of downtime, but I want the lights to be on at least 16 hours a day. Because if it's not, your plants grow really fast looking for the light. You don't want them to have to do that. But what you also don't want them to do, you don't want them to be always photosynthesizing 24 hours a day. That's not good for them either. So I leave mine on 16 hours a day. I give them 8 hours worth of dark time. And it's never completely dark here in the basement. We leave our lights on all the time to kind of combat mold. So you need a timer, you'll need some extension cords, you'll need a power strip. Now, for the flats that I use, they're 48 cell flats, and it takes 3 of these lights to cover them. So these lights, this is all they're going to be used for. They're going to be used for this, and that's all. So these lights should last me a long, long, long time. But they're going to go out in the greenhouse when it's all over. So let's get in here and take a look. You saw us set up our table. You saw us do our germination and our potting up. Now I'm going to show you how to set the lights up. Okay? Okay, here we are with our plants. Now, I could have made some complicated system, but what I want to do, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I want to set my timer so that it knows that it's 4 o'clock. And so, rotate that around. Let's see. Yeah. 4 o'clock in the day. Alright. Got my timer set to the time. Then all I'm going to do is just plug it in. I'll get down here at this end, and I've got an extension cord. I'm going to plug in my timer. Okay. The timer starts timing, counting. Then I've got a power strip here. All it is just a regular old power strip. And I'm going to plug it into the timer. Get it turned the right way. Okay, the power strip's plugged in. Now my method of holding my lights, I could have built some fancy scaffold type thing. My method's real simple. I took 2 wooden blocks, and when I need to add more height, I'll add another wooden block. Take the wooden block, scoot them close together, and there we are. There's one light. Two lights. And you don't have to have them touching because the light's going to spill over, and you'll see when I turn them on. These are right down on the plants, which is exactly where you want them. Now they'll start raising up as the plants grow. Okay? Spread those out a little. And now I'll just plug them in, because the timer is going to turn them on and off. 1, 2 and 3. And you want to do it down here where they're going to be close. Okay, I want you to see how close those actually are. Okay, I'm going to take you off the tripod. Now, in case you're wondering, right there's the light. Okay, I'm going to stick my finger up there for reference. See, my finger's width is all that is up. Now, when the plants come up, I'll raise that up a little bit. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, let me put you back on the tripod. Now, when the plants get a little bit of size to them, and they don't have to have a lot of size, but they'll need a little bit of size. When they get that, I can't see. Now, when the plants get a little bit of size on them, I won't start it today, but I want to show you. I'll take this fan, set it up a little bit higher. There we go. Take this oscillating fan and make it where it oscillates and blows across these, and it'll be on for the entire time that the lights are on. It'll plug right in here to this same power strip, and it'll be on low, but it will oscillate back and forth among the lights, and what that'll do is it will strengthen the stems. It'll be like wind blowing. So anytime I want to raise the lights, I just add a thing. If I want to water a plant, I just reach here and take one light down, set it down, pull out a sail, and water. Because I always water from the bottom. Now, why do I water from the bottom, and why do I use the fan? Well, there's two reasons for the fan. One of them is the reason I told you. The other reason is because of a little thing called damping off. Now, what damping off is a fungus that will get on your plants and cause the stems to die, to rot. And that's caused because the top of the soil is too wet. So what I do is to fight damping off, or to keep that from occurring, I use the fan, and it blows the surface of the soil and dries the surface. It doesn't dry the bottom of the soil, but it dries the surface. And the lights, or not the lights, but then I bottom water so I'm never wetting the surface. And that keeps down damping off. So you see how I set up my lights, and you've seen how I do the other stuff. I'm hoping these lights work well. If they don't, I'll get my fluorescent lights back down. But I've got the sneaking feeling that these lights are going to work just fine. And if you like this kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell. It'll let you know when our videos come out. I upload videos every Sunday. As long as there ain't nothing going on, I upload videos every Sunday. So it's time for me to get on to the next thing.